Hello, lovely people. It's been a while. It's been a month now since the last live stream.
Busy month.
Busy
Busy.
month, but there is tons of reasons for that. We're going to talk a little more about that in today's live stream. But like we quote unquote replaced the last live stream 2 weeks ago with something else pretty amazing that's already available, but secrets. It's not really a secret. It's already public. We're going to talk more about it later. And today's show is all about what the heck is going on here. Like so many things happen, John. Huh?
It has been a wild ride. Being an open source project like we are for so many years and gathering the community that we have for so long, to do a stealth company rebrand operation with all those eyeballs is not an easy operation to pull off. But we just recently made a whole bunch of announcements, including a company rebrand. And the team just did an exceptional job. I think that we tried to do this stealth operation with 12 epics in a single release to try to make all the changes happen at once. Change is hard. We didn't want to, kill our entire community with change after change after change. So we decided that we were going to stay stealth and keep it all undercover until we were ready to go. And we are really glad to finally have that monkey off our back. We feel just great about the company rebrand announcement and all of the big news in the product land.
So you know what, John? Let's start with that company rebranding. So now you still see Kubefirst because it's the Kubefirst Live. We may change the live stream name in the future, even if Kubefirst remain. But like as a company now, we are not called Kubefirst anymore. We're called Konstruct.
That's right. Yeah, we're Konstruct Inc. It's a brand new, powerful brand that I think represents us really well. The one thing that we have always stayed true to is the ability for us to enable companies to build software, deliver software wherever their software lives. We're a cloud agnostic shop. We're not trying to tie you to AWS, tie you to Sivo, tie you to whoever. And we want to enable you to build wherever you are. And so the Konstruct brand hit us real well. We like it a lot. And we also love the Kubefirst brand, if I can be honest. Like, we have been Kubefirst for half a decade now. And it's a product line that remains near and dear to our heart. We love the logo, we love the brand, we love the product, we love its direction, we love everything about it. We just got an opportunity under our new ownership to expand our product line. And with the expansion of our product line into new spaces, we have new brands to promote, and to be equitable to Kubefirst. It didn't make sense for the company to remain Kubefirst any longer. And we knew this day would come, frankly. When we started the Kubefirst project, nights and weekends, we knew someday the company couldn't be Kubefirst anymore. And to finally hit that milestone is a great accomplishment. So we're feeling good about it.
And John, I need to say I cry a little at the beginning because I love Kubefirst brand so much, and I was like, I understood that like we're not like getting away from Kubefirst. It was just like instead of like being the branding of the company and the product, now it was the branding specific to a product, and we're moving away from that branding and a company level. But you know what? Like Construct is amazing brand too. Like do you have do you want to share a little bit like where it's coming from, like the name Construct? Like I know you talk a little bit about the fact that like it's still aligned with like what we've always done, but like coming with a name right now for a company, it's difficult. I mean, like you need to find something original enough that people remember it, something that like everybody's gonna be happy with, something we're gonna be able to find like just a domain name. It's like probably the most challenging things to do. So how did we come up with that construct?
Yeah, no, it's very true. And if I can be totally transparent about it, our new owner, Mark Boost, was sitting on the domain. He had aspirations of creating a product line that was very similar to ours when he ended up acquiring us. And when the conversation about a new company brand came to surface, he offered it to us, and it was a perfect fit for our DNA. And you know, I shared the sentiment, frankly. You know, I've been very proud to be representing Kubefirst forever. It's a company and a vision that's easy to feel a little bit proud of, frankly. And to change that identity, you know, it's easy to sort of feel the twinge of like, but my dear Kubefirst. But at the same time, we're not the same company anymore either. And that's also really awesome to me, that like, you know, we had this really long and tough struggle to get this open source platform up and off the ground, get it to be viable in the space, get it to be to gain that traction in the platform engineering space. And that afforded us the opportunity to grow. And now that we've grown, we have this just unbelievably exceptionally talented engineering group, and we are something different. And so to have a new face and a new brand and a new name that represents who we are now and what we've accomplished feels great. And no looking back. Kubefirst, we love you. K-Ray, we'll always support you. We'll always push for you. But we are Konstruct, and we're feeling really proud about that too.
Yeah, speaking of, actually, I just want to add on what you said. We've grown the engineering team with like amazing people, but like we also grown like what we put everyone else in like the product team, and we hire new amazing people on the team. So basically, I think we double at least the size of the company employees, like the number of ads we have in the company right now. It's
Yep.
doubled since what, four
In
or
the last
five.
quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty crazy too. If you've seen, we published a couple of blog posts, we share pictures on social media. You've seen that like there is new faces that were added in the last couple of days, and now if you go on our website on construct.io, there is things that I'm really proud of. Like we have a about page with everyone in the about page, and this is a me thing. I really love when company does that, not because of like my ego and I absolutely want to be on a page, but with all respect for like C-level people and founders and co-founders. Like it takes a team to be successful, and I like the fact that like we know that, and this is why we put our faces there, like everybody's faces there, because like it's not just like a John and Jared show. You did a lot of amazing work, you still do, but like now you have a team, and to be successful you need those people, and I'm just proud that we do those kind of things. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm a little bit cheesy, but
No,
I just
I
love
couldn't
that.
agree more, Fred. I think that that hits on our sort of the human side of our company really well. We and frankly, it's an honor to be able to represent our company. You know, this thing isn't a bash script anymore like it was, you know, 5 years ago. This is a lean, mean machine, and it takes a lot of great talent in order to pull off our aspirations. And to finally have, you know, enough engineering capacity in the shop to be able to match our aspirations is just incredible. So yeah, certainly having a nod to our incredible engineering team on the website feels really good. And I think it's just a taste of the type of people that we're bringing into the organization and that are working on this platform.
And speaking of like the people, the team that have grown, like all the announcement that we've done, uh, we celebrate this in a special way.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago, I would love us to like just share. This is like just I. Let's be honest. This is a bragging moment. I want us to brag about what we've done. We basically celebrate like all of the achievements of the last months in Berlin. So we brought all the team to Berlin. John, tell us about that.
Yeah,
I know you want to. So go.
yeah, that was just an incredible experience. We're a very geographically distributed team. We're remote only, have been forever. And that means that we have, team members, and we started in the States, and then we're in Colombia, and then we're in Canada, and then we're in India, and then we're in the UK, and then we're in Ireland. And I think that that has served us incredibly well in terms of expanding the size of the talent pool that you're able to tap into, and getting the best engineers around the world, no matter where they are. But it also makes it very tough to get together. We did have one offsite once, about a year and a half ago. I feel like we got together in my hometown of DC, just for a quick one. But when we were kind of planning this crazy undercover 12 epic release, and the announcement date that we were targeting was right in alignment with Civo Navigate, which we had a few talks scheduled for anyway. So we were like, if we could time it just right, where we're at Navigate at the time of the announcement, how great timing would that be to just kind of shine the spotlight on what we've been up to. And our new owner, Mark, offered to pick up the entire team and send everybody to Berlin for the announcement for the Navigate conference. We had a great offsite opportunity after the Navigate conference was awesome. It was a couple days in Berlin. We had talks on writing great docs and using it as a secret weapon for your engineering. We had a talk on how hybrid cloud platforms work. And we had another one on how to create instant open source platforms on your local host. All of them were really well received. Being able to engage with the platform engineering group was super cool. But more than anything, after the event, just being able to spend some time in carbon form with the Konstruct team, and share old stories, and share each other's pasts and dreams, and understand who everybody is as a human, when we're not just talking about coop cuddle and get offs and whatever else, was beyond words exciting for, I think, all of us. We had the best time. And I don't know, you were there, Fred. You give me your thoughts. How'd you think the Berlin trip went?
That was amazing. I mean, as John said, we're fully distributed. We have no offices, no physical offices, and I mean, I've been remote for the last 12 years now, so I'm used to it. Like I'm used to it, but I'm a social person, and there's nothing that replaces face to face when you want to create connection with folks. And I had the pleasure to meet some of the people in the team at our first offsite that was in Washington like a year and a half ago. But we grown so much since that. I was like, there were so many other people that I want to meet. So set aside all activities or all like things we've done together, just being with my folks, my coworkers, that was amazing. That was just a great experience. On top of that, let's be honest, Berlin is not that bad of a city to do an offsite. I mean,
Berlin
like,
was super cool. It was
I
so
love
neat.
I love Berlin, and I want to share with folks. John wrote a blog post about that. Construct Berlin. It's kind of like a summary of like what we've done. But two of the activities that I really love that we've done, like team activities. We did a boat tour in Berlin, and let's be honest, like I've done a couple of boat tours, and sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're boring. But what I really love with the place, like the company we worked with, we were able to like use our own music, and they were really nice. So we were like having like scenic views of like part of Berlin on the boat for a couple of hours with my team. We're singing song, we're dancing, we're discussing between each other. I mean, that was pretty amazing.
It
That was
was
like a
really neat.
great team activity. But one thing that is quite original in what we've done, and you can see that on the blog that I've shared. It is a picture in the blogs that John wrote, but also it is now a new hero image on the blog. Is what did we do? We did a graffiti workshop.
Yeah, yeah, no, that was the coolest team building exercise I've ever been a part of. You know, I full transparency, I love graffiti. I don't do it on anything important, please. But man, when I go from city to city, I do really enjoy just kind of seeing the graffiti of the city. I think it's a neat element of the realness of the city.
Yeah.
And Berlin, I it has just some pieces that would blow your mind. First of all, but perhaps more appropriate for the show here, they have they have a park, publicly funded park called Graffiti Park, that is just like this huge sprawling landscape that's got these huge concrete ready to go walls that you get to learn how to do graffiti. You get to, as a graffiti artist, you just get to go and do your pieces in a way that's not disruptive to the public ecosystem, which
And
I think is
legal.
just a really nice way to do it. Yeah, yeah, very legal. Thumbs up. We're all clean over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a really cool experience. And what was I surprising to me, I thought we were just going and we were going to have some fun and you know, get some cool photos and whatever. But we actually got an opportunity to get our brilliant set of engineers together in an environment that they've never been in and see how they work together. And it was no surprise to me that the collaboration was just instant, and people are sharing each other tricks on how to do this and how to do that. And to watch them build something beautiful that they had never even tried before collaboratively was both not a surprise and at the same time striking to me. Just how awesome our team does together. So yeah, it was a really neat experience. I love the graffiti trip, perhaps more than any of them.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. And before we jump talking more about the product, because as much as we had fun having two people talking about how amazing their trip in Berlin was, may not be like as exciting for everyone, but it was for us. On top of like SIBO Navigate, which is like a conference we loved, and we loved even before we got acquired. So it's a conference we're going, great quality talks, great quality speakers. And I'm not saying that because we spoke there. Like there's other like really great people. Thanks to the sponsors, by the way, who helped make that conference a possibility. But during SIBO Navigate, can I say like a dream come true for you, John? Like something happened that was like, yeah, that was a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we got an opportunity. I got an opportunity. It just kind of fell in my lap that I was going to get a chance to have an interview with Kelsey Hightower, who has been a long time. If I can be so cheesy, like he's a tech hero of mine. For a lot of reasons. You know, I recall leaning on his stories and his books and his tutorials when I was learning Kubernetes. And from a tech standpoint, I don't think you could find a better person to interview. But he has an exceptional level of human empathy and brings that to surface in the tech space. And I think that the tech industry needs that. And to see someone like him do that for so long at companies as powerful as Google, and to just steadfastly say that that's what he's doing, and you're either with him or go find somebody else, has been really a shining light for me personally in terms of like what you can do to be successful in tech with a heart. And so to have the opportunity to interview somebody that I've looked up to for so long was just like, I have to confess during the during the interview, I had moments of just like, I can't believe that this is happening. But the interview was great. He was a star like he always is. And to the fact that I was in that room with him is just beyond words to me. It was a really cool experience.
Yeah, a real nice person to connect with and talk with. So it was one of the two keynote at SIBO Navigate. So keynote was amazing, but like the interview with John was great too. So you can go on our YouTube channel, or I showing the links for the last 2 minutes, k1.social/KLC. It's about 37 minutes interviews. I think it's worth it, because it's Kelsey. So
Yeah.
give it a watch. Not right now, just keep a note. Just open the tab on another tab. Stay with us in the live stream, but watch it after or tomorrow or this weekend. It's a great interview. And anyway, you're still going to see those like part of the interviews in the future, because I'm going to make like smaller capsule or like smaller videos about part of the interviews to share on social media. But if you want to see the real deal, it's up there. So great stuff, new branding, great conference, great team activities. But like, there is a reason. You said it before. There's a reason why we rebranded, and we're not like Kubefirst anymore as a company. We're now Konstruct. It's because there is a new product.
It's true.
What's that new thing?
Yeah, it's an exciting new product. It's called Colony. It's a new bare metal platform provisioner, is how I think of it in my head. Today, what it is it affords you the opportunity to plug into a data center or a home lab or wherever you are. You run in a init command, and it creates this temporary rig. And in that rig, you can have it set up in auto discovery mode. And then as you boot machines in that network, we're able to discover those machines and identify all of the details about that machine, how much CPU, how much memory, what disk devices are attached to it, stuff like that. And then we can host that in our Colony API and make it available to you so that you can provision operating systems or provision Kubernetes clusters. We're starting out with support of K3s and Telos distributions. And you can not only run those empty Kubernetes clusters, but you can also install natively the SIBO Enterprise Stack, which is a self-hosted private cloud implementation that SIBO has that lets you run their cloud in your data center. So with Colony, you'll be able to take any data center hardware that you have and repurpose it for Kubernetes. And if you want that private cloud experience, you can have it natively in a click. So it's going to be really cool. I've got a quick demo that I could show on like how the auto discovery works. I'm not going to walk through the whole thing because we have this new virtual data center that you can create if you don't have access to a data center. It was one of the problems that we had was like, how do you get into bare metal if you don't have a data center yet? It's a kind of a tricky problem. And true to our DNA at Konstruct, very much like we did with Kubernetes, where we spent an incredible amount of time and passion and energy into reducing the barrier of cloud native. We want to do that very same thing for bare metal. We have gone through all of the internet. We know all the blogs. We know all of the docs. We know all of the tech and what's available. And it is gross. And we think that we can do a lot better at providing frictionless platform experiences in the bare metal space. So yeah, with the introduction of Colony, it's like, well, okay, you could have Colony and Kubefirst, and then the company Kubefirst didn't really make sense. It wasn't very equitable to our product lines anymore. So that's really the catalyst behind the company rebrand. And we have an exciting new product in the bare metal space, and it has a bright future. Right now, it's just kind of a bare metal server repurposing technology. But it is not going to take us very long to integrate Kubefirst with Colony and provide hybrid cloud ecosystem capabilities and instant platforms in your data center. So yeah, pretty cool stuff.
It is. I think it's time for a demo. I mean,
yeah, let's do some fun. It's going to be a live demo, and it's all virtual, which means that the amount of CPU that we have available to each node is pretty slim. So this is one of the rawest demos you'll ever see. That's very similar to the experience you'll have at home in that virtual environment. It's not quite the same as when you have powerful machines that can run this stuff. But we want to show you exactly what it is that you can do in our new Colony Vagrant virtual environment. So real quick, just to get it on screen, this is Konstruct.io. This is our new home base. As part of this enormous operation, we moved clouds. We left AWS and moved our production ecosystem into Civo. As a part of that, we rebranded everything because it gave us this opportunity to kind of set up shop in a new secret space. So Konstruct.io is our new marketing site. From Konstruct.io, you can get to almost everything that you need to. We have individual product pages for each one of our components. We have Colony, which is our bare metal provisioner. We have Kubefirst OSS platform, which everybody's already familiar with. And we also have Kubefirst Pro, which I hope to get on screen a little bit also. This is the newly branded name for the user interface that we optionally add to your platform at the end of an install. That used to just also be called Kubefirst, even though there were details about how many clusters you could have, and you could tell that there was a commercial line there. We've tried to clarify that a little bit. Kubefirst Pro is now our user interface to manage the platform. The platform itself is just Kubefirst. It remains MIT licensed. It remains free for everyone forever. Kubefirst Pro also has a very generous free tier. Just because it's a commercial product doesn't mean that it isn't incredibly valuable for free to a lot of platform engineers. If you need a management and a pre-production and a production cluster, you can have all of that for free on Kubefirst Pro. No questions asked, no credit card needed.
And John, I would like us to come back to Kubefirst after Colony because I think it's worth taking the time to just talk again about Kubefirst versus okay, what does it mean to have the Pro now? With the fact that we didn't have a Pro offering before, what happened with the open source? Also, I want us to clarify exactly what is the Pro version, because we talked about pricing a couple of months ago when we were part of CubeShop before the acquisition. So the pros, the way we're gonna charge for Kubefirst is a little bit different than what we talked before, but I think more beneficial for the users or potential customers. But let's demo Colony, and we can get back to Kubefirst after, if that makes sense to you.
Of course it does. Let's do it. So here we are at colony.construct.io. And when you start out at Colony, you're not going to have an account. You're not going to have an API key. You'll be just a brand new user. So you can pick any of these ways to log in. For this demo, I'm going to log in with Google. And when you log in, you'll see that you don't have any assets because you haven't run Colony in a data center or in your home lab yet in order to auto-discover what hardware is available. Now, in order to create a virtual data center that has a handful of servers in it, we created this repository Oh, I should have mentioned our new GitHub organization. We have changed. We're no longer Kubefirst. We're Konstruct.io as the organization. So if you're looking for us, that's where we went. And we
The
have
good
this new.
news, though, is that oh no, actually, I was going to say GitHub will resurrect, but it's not the case because we didn't change the name of the org. We created a new org, so forget what I just said for the last 30 seconds.
So we have this new Colony Vagrant repository, and the easiest way to get set up with a brand new virtual data center is to run this make DC command. Make is just an automation tech, and make DC will set up a virtual data center virtual machine in the Civo cloud. And then in that machine, we will use Vagrant to establish all of the networking of a data center, plus give you the ability to boot up some machines so that you can feel how it works with Colony when you're auto discovering and provisioning. So right before the live stream, I actually went through and ran that make DC. It takes about like 15 minutes, and I didn't want to kill all that airtime just kind of watching this. But you can see what it does is it goes and it creates your exit node, it creates your leaf and your spine on your network. It even creates this machine called Laptop that serves as a virtual representation of a human with a laptop inside a data center that's plugged into that data center. And we set up the networks all the way down to the Cat5 cables that connect all the machines together. And all of that Colony Vagrant is open source and free at Construct.io. And it's very easy to recreate just by running make DC. You'll follow the prompts. It's going to ask you for a Civo token so that it can provision that virtual machine in your Civo account. And then everything else it just takes care of for you. At the end result is that you'll be on that laptop machine in your terminal, and you can run a colony init
Can you
command.
zoom, John?
Yeah, sure can. Thank you, Fred. You're always so good about that. Okay, so we'll run a colony init command, and you have to pass it 2 arguments. One of them is the API key, which this machine will have ready for it a colony API key environment variable so that I don't have to show my keys on screen. And then the other detail is because we're doing this virtually and not in the live environment, like for a real data center, you have to specify the Colony API URL to be the virtual URL. So we'll do API URL equals https:// Colony API virtual .construct.io. And we have some docs here. Fred set up this new colony .construct.io/docs that will walk you through some of this. And our colony vagrant README is also really good for details about the data center. But in any event,
we don't have the data center documentation in the kind of like official docs because it's more like in between now to try colony and test colony if you don't have like a physical data center. And for the version that we have right now, but everything is in the repo.
Yeah, by 0.2, I expect that we will have fleshed out all of the documentation about being in a live data center environment. 0.1 is kind of our initial cut so that we can start receiving feedback. So we'll run this colony init command, and this is basically going to pull down some Tinkerbell templates into the rig that's established here. And with Tinkerbell being deployed, if I do like a k get pods -a W. It looks like this has been running for 20 seconds. We have a Colony agent now running in this data center as a result of that Colony init command. And now if I exit out of this laptop machine, now I'm on the virtual machine that is the data center virtual environment. And I can run, let's see, bash dot, no, not dot, virtual data center power on. And when I run this power on script, this is going to run some Vagrant creates of, or Vagrant up rather, of a bunch of virtual machines that we have set up in this virtualized environment. And as these machines start being created, what's happening is they'll wake up, they'll have a new OS, and they'll be talking to the DHCP server, trying to get a new IP address. And with Colony and auto discovery mode, we're able to identify that there's a new machine that's come onto the network that's booting, that is requesting auto discovery because we have the Colony agent set up in auto discovery mode. And we're able to flash some automation onto that machine so that we can discover details about it. And then we push all of those details up into our cloud ecosystem, making it available for you to use in this user interface. And this is going to take a little bit, and you can see it's just now starting to auto discover the machines and what they're made out of. And they are made out of teeny tiny little VMs. And it's not really the most stable environment because we're trying to run Kubernetes on a machine with just one CPU, and there's not a lot of elbow room. Sometimes it goes off the rails a little bit. You have to be a little forgiving in the virtual environment. But nevertheless, once you have these machines available to you, we let you leverage these machines for the creation of virtual machines. So like if you wanted to put Ubuntu onto these hosts, you could do that and just kind of use it as a provisioning tool for putting Ubuntu onto hosts and treating hosts like cattle. Like that would be a fine way to use this software. But we also have it so that you can provision Kubernetes clusters on these machines. So while those machines are kind of booting up, now that there's two of them, I can get started because that's enough for a control plane and a worker node, which is all you need for a Kubernetes cluster. So right here, if you wanted to create a self-hosted Civo stack, you could click this and it'll walk you through a bunch of form fields that you need to provide input about your network ecosystem and your data center. That's a pretty frictionless experience, but it's a lot of entry fields that I won't bore the audience with. This is a little bit more lightweight. We can just create a simple K3S cluster, and we'll give it global IP for the virtual Vagrant data center environment. 10.0.10.1 is the gateway IP to use. And I will say that this first machine that we auto-discovered with that disk that we auto-discovered can have a static IP of 10.0.10.20 with a /24 CIDR. That'll be for the control plane node. And then I'll pick this other one that was discovered and say 10.0.10.21/24 can be the worker node. And when I click create Kubernetes cluster, it gives you this nice user interface where you can see that it's running some automations against these available machines. And this takes a little bit of time to do. I won't keep it on screen for the whole time. I'll come back to it. But this is basically going to create a control plane first on this instance. And then once the control plane's established, this worker node can then join the control plane. And I should call out with all of this magic that's happening that the mechanics behind how this works is all possible because of a really great open source project called Tinkerbell. So anybody that's kind of looked at the bare metal space, looked at trying to introduce cloud native to the bare metal space, you were probably pretty disappointed with what's available. But Tinkerbell is a rare gem that allows you the ability to manage bare metal in a Kubernetes native way. They have a great community. Their community is in the CNCF Slack. And the founders of that project were just exceptional to work with. So right now, with the Colony components and the automations that we have available in 0.1, it's all very like canned. Like it's just the automations that we made available are the ones that are available to you. But we have aspirations of enabling Colony to be an orchestrator for Tinkerbell native automations. So we know that their community has just like, a ton of folks that are trying to use Tinkerbell to do, frankly, like wild stuff like CI on bare metal, or there's all kinds of different stories that we've come across. But, those folks that are building those automations are forced to just kind of keep it all kubectl centric, and you have to, kind of create hardware objects, and then you have to create templates, and then you have to tie them together with workflows, and it's all very nice as long as you're comfortable being in a kubectl only environment. But we're trying to establish like an orchestration control plane for managing platforms on bare metal in a way that leverages the ability to run Tinkerbell automations natively. So look for our updates as we continue with 0.2 and 0.3. We expect to expand our Tinkerbell native capabilities so that you can run your own automations on this platform, which really just makes it a limitless ceiling in terms of what you can do in bare metal on cloud native with the Colony product. So we're really excited about the future of what this is going to bring.
I totally agree. And, John, I think you deserve a pat in the back.
Thank you. I did almost none of it. So
no, I know it was not for you. It was for all the team. And
I know that our team really dug deep on getting into bare metal to figure out how we were going to tackle this monster, and I think the results are pretty exceptional. I don't even want to leave the screen because I've been talking for so long that I know this control plane is going to come back ready in just a second. But there it goes. There we
go.
So in any event, now that control plane is available, the worker is available to join. I will call out, if you're kind of staring at the provisioning timer and just like, what's taking it so long, it's truly this that's making it take so long. It's that single CPU that we were able to allocate to that machine inside this virtual environment, so that we could create a K3S control plane on that node and then join another node that only has a single CPU on it. Like, that's just not a lot of elbow room these days. So if you were running this in more of a appropriate data center or home lab environment, it would go a lot more expeditiously than we're able to show on screen in the Vagrant environment. But definitely wanted to show folks, how this Vagrant environment works, that this is available to them. You literally just have to git clone it and then run this single command. And then when it asks you the question, this is the answer. Say create data center, and then bam, that's all you need to do. It'll prompt you for a couple keys that you need. Really easy to set up. And then once you set it up, you can do auto discovery and cluster creation just like I did. And even just with that control plane, I think I can show, I can. We can download the new kubectl, the new kubeconfig. And I could, at this point, do a Vagrant SSH laptop. And when I SSH onto the virtual laptop that's inside that data center, I can, let's see, if I echo my kubeconfig, we can see that it's pointed to my home.kube config directory. But if instead I cd to my home and I vi a new file called kube config k3d. And I paste that content into it and save it. And then I can export that my kube config is now home kube config k3d. Then if I kget nodes, you can see that this thing only has one node so far because the other one has not yet joined. Once it joins, that'll show up available there. Kget pods will show you that it is an empty Kubernetes cluster, but it is a fully functioning Kubernetes cluster running in your data center that you can do anything you want with. So, create ns hello world. This thing works just fine. So super cool way to frictionlessly get a Kubernetes cluster in a virtual data center environment and start tinkering with Tinkerbell and start tinkering with Colony and start playing with bare metal. That was one of the hardest challenges that we had when we started getting into this hybrid cloud space is how do we iterate swiftly? How do we get something that's repeatable, that's a data center that we can work with, that we can engineer against. And this is that environment. So even if you don't want to use Colony, I think Colony Vagrant is an incredible data center environment to be able to start tinkering around with Tinkerbell and sort of how bare metal provisioning and automation works. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to get out, and it looks like our worker is now joined as well. And I bet if I do a kget nodes now, yeah, now I have 2 nodes available. So you can add additional nodes to the cluster after the fact. This is a K3s cluster, but the Telus implementation works just as well. And then if you wanted to do instead of a Kubernetes cluster, if you wanted to do provisioning of like an Ubuntu operating system, you just have to click the individual machine from the assets page. And then up here in apply templates, you'll find that there's an Ubuntu focal implementation, and that thing will start provisioning. And before you know it, you'll have a virtual machine that you can SSH onto and do whatever you're going to do with virtual machines. I don't know why anybody wants virtual machines anymore, but if you need one, you need one. I get it. So that's available for you as well. I think that's all I want to show about.
Yeah, I think that's what we can show for now. For sure, in the future, once we're gonna release like .2 or .3, we're gonna have like a full show on Colony where we can go more in details about everything and anything. And I don't know, there's a person called Mark Boost that say like it's fire. And we agree, Mark. Thanks for joining the show. With that said, John, you create a Kubernetes cluster, and I was like, okay, that's nice. That's the cluster. But like there was something missing. There's a lot of things that were missing in that cluster. It's like it's everything we put when we create a cluster with Kubefirst. So you see the segue here where I'm going with that.
I do
want us to talk more about Kubefirst.
I know. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Our first love, Kubefirst. Kubefirst has gone through a bit of a transformation also. On our products page, you'll see that there's now the Kubefirst open source platform that I trust most people are familiar with. But we also have Kubefirst Pro, which is our new user interface that we're adding on top of the platform. This has been a long time coming. We've been working on commercializing and establishing sort of the commercial legs to Kubefirst for we've been working on it honestly for about a year, maybe even a year and a half. And we finally got to the point where, we had a little bit of disruption while we were figuring out what we were doing with our new company. Now that everything's settled, we have a very clear message. So the Kubefirst open source platform is instant, free, available to everyone on an MIT license, and it is responsible for the creation of your management cluster that has all of the tools pre-configured that you'll need in order to create an application delivery and infrastructure management platform instantly. In the Civo cloud, it takes about 25 minutes. AWS cloud, it takes about 70 minutes, and all the other clouds are somewhere in that spectrum. But with no account, with no credit card, with no sign up, you're going to come, you're going to install, you can brew install it, or you can grab it off our GitHub. We have a binary called Kubefirst. And if you run Kubefirst launch up or Kubefirst, pick your cloud and a create command, then you'll have these instant platforms that tie together automated infrastructure as code and secrets management. It gives you a sample application called Metaphor that shows you how to publish containers and charts and deliver that in a GitOps-centric way to dev stage prod environment. We have an awesome community, upward of 400 engineers that have all agreed that, it's time to start using the same tools the same way and build an army. So for a lot of smaller teams, that's super, super important. Especially if you're putting your toe in the Kubernetes waters. It doesn't take long to figure out that there's a lot to know, and there is power in numbers. We have SSO set up so that you have that single sign-on through all the tools on the platform. And all the platform tools are unwrapped. So when we say you're using Argo CD, you're logging into Argo CD. We're not wrapping Argo CD and only letting you use certain pieces of GitOps. Like, you have full control and an unlimited ceiling in what you can do. And with that architecture, you are also free to eject from us completely. Kubefirst starts making some decision that you don't agree with and you want to leave Kubefirst, all you have to do is delete the Kubefirst namespace and you're gone to us. Your platform still is fully operational because GitOps, and that's how GitOps works. So you're not marrying us or our opinions. You're getting a fast track start to a whole bunch of great cloud native tech that frankly, most people are using anyway. We study the surveys. We know what people are using. We know what the most popular products are. We just put them all together in a single click so that you can start there and then start building your platform for the needs of your development team instead of for the needs of your security and your platform team. So,
and as you said, John, like we're not like putting Kubefirst on top of everything. We're just like giving you like what I call a production ready cluster. So, but it's done on your account. You decided like which cloud account you want to use and create your cluster. You decided like on GitHub or GitLab and which organizations you want to create those, but it's yours. It's on yours. Like there's nothing on our side with Kubefirst. So as John said, like it's a opinionated platform. So we decided some of like the tools that you think you need at the beginning to be successful, but it's yours at the end. So I love that. So for that part, I mean, what are the changes compared to, let's say, before the announcement of Pro, like the Kubefirst open source version that we always had, compared to like the Kubefirst open source version now? Like, is there any changes for people using us right now, people that wanted to try us?
Not any major changes. So we did make, so historically, when you do a Kubefirst installation of your management cluster, you were handcuffed to getting the commercial user interface. At the end of it, it would say, hey, congratulations, you've got yourself a new platform. Click this button and you'll be in Kubefirst Pro. That's still the default behavior, but we have made Kubefirst Pro completely optional. So if you just don't even want to touch our commercial product, you don't have to. There's a switch in the UI, there's a switch in the command line, and you can opt out so that you just get the platform and you don't get any Kubefirst commercially stuff. But the Kubefirst commercially stuff is incredible, and it's got a sweet free tier. So a lot of our audience is going to be familiar with this screen here. This is our dashboard for getting into some of the Ingress tools that are part of the platform. We have a cluster management feature set that allows you to create GitOps clusters. We have a GitOps catalog that is an open source catalog of open source tools that can be added to the Kubefirst platform after an installation. But we have a really nice user interface experience in Kubefirst Pro to allow you to install and uninstall those really frictionlessly. The cluster management leverages Crossplane, but we have Atlantis integrations as well. And we also have native integration with vCluster. So if you don't want the overhead and cost of a full-blown Kubernetes cluster and you're just looking for the isolation, you can leverage our virtual clusters that get created inside of your physical clusters in that user interface. It's all really sweet. So in order to get into Kubefirst Pro, it's always going to be kubefirst whatever domain you selected. In this particular demo example, I used the domain kubefirst.ai. But you at home, if you were acme.com, this would be kubefirst.acme.com. And you'll log in with Vault with a secret password that we give you at the conclusion of your install. So when I log in as the default KBot user, you will land in cluster management. But one change that we made is that cluster management no longer creates clusters automatically for you. Now that the paywall line is real, we want you to proactively decide on your own exactly what clusters you want and what you want to name them and whether you want them to be virtual or physical. So that process still works the same today as it always has. You can create a physical cluster, which will just create it in your cloud account, or you can create a virtual cluster and it'll put it inside of your management cluster. And it doesn't just create empty clusters. It creates clusters based on a GitOps fleet template that we provide to you in your GitOps repository so that you can manage what applications get installed into your clusters and keep your clusters consistent across your cluster environments. There's also now this nice fancy button down here that we just love. We've been dreaming about this button for 5.5 years. And now when you click upgrade to Pro, it's going to bring you to a place where you can purchase a Pro plan or purchase an enterprise plan so that you can manage more clusters than we give you for free. By default, we'll give you 3 clusters that you can manage for free in the UI with a fully functioning user interface. But when you need that 4th cluster, you'll come here to create a new, you'll swipe a credit card to purchase a license, and then you can apply that license to your Kubefirst console, and it'll unlock the whatever additional.
John, I really need to say I like that we're asking for a credit card only when you need a credit card. I always feel like it's a dark pattern where like I sign up for something that is free, but it asks me my credit card. And I understand there's like validation if I'm real whatsoever, but your product is free. So when you ask me for the credit card before I ever need to pay, before I even know if I want to pay, I feel like you're going to trick me somewhere down the road, with all respect for any like product managers out there or product owner. But I was really happy when we took the decision that like, yeah, let's not ask for a credit card right now. Let's ask when you need to. So no surprise too. No like, hey, it's free, but like if you go over the limit, we're going to start to charge you because we have your credit card on file. No, you need to click on the button. You need to add your information. And now we're going to start to charge you. And that's not going to be expensive if you want like the 4 clusters.
Yeah, no, 4 clusters. You can get 4 clusters if they were on. And to your point, we got a lot of great feedback from our engineering team. Like the reason that there's no dark pattern about credit card collection, the reason that we're not just using high watermark for the number of clusters, but we're actually metering your use on a per hour basis was frankly thanks to a lot of internal conversation that we had about what feels right to engineers. And we're trying to hit that perfectly. If there's anything about it that you take exception to, we would love to hear it. But we really did put a lot of thought into trying to produce a very fair and equitable way to start monetizing our product aspirations. But yeah, for if you had a full-time, like never took it down management, staging, development, production cluster, those 4 clusters would only cost I think somewhere in the ballpark of 230 USD.
Yeah.
It's 33 cents an hour. So whatever that breaks down to for the first 4 clusters. And
Yeah,
then
actually,
it's per cluster beyond that. So
after the third one. So
after the
you
third,
have 4 cluster, you only pay for the 4th one, and
that's
it's
right.
33 cents per hour per cluster. So if you want 5, you pay for 2 cluster. The first 3 are free.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right.
We're nice like that. I feel like Santa Claus giving free clusters to people.
I know. Isn't it nice?
It is.
And the experience, just in case anybody's new to the cluster provisioning experience, it is exceptional. We use Crossplane to create our Kubernetes clusters. But like I said, we're not creating empty Kubernetes clusters. We're creating full GitOps oriented fleets of clusters that are guaranteed to be identical because of the architecture of how the GitOps is constructed. So when we hop into the registry, nice like that cluster here, you can see right now it's creating some infrastructure in our Civo cloud. And everything else is waiting until that infrastructure gets created. And then it will go through the series of sync waves in order to get you cert manager, external DNS, reloader, all of your usual suspects that you always need in your clusters anyway, but all of the interdependencies of what's needed first and then what's needed next, and then what do you need to reconfigure, all of that has been taken care of for you for a really good starting point fleet configuration for a workload cluster, all the way down to external secrets operator that's pre-integrated with your management vault so that you can pull secrets correctly out of vault and into your downstream workload clusters. All of that's taken care of automatically. And you can even eject out of Crossplane and into the Atlantis ecosystem with just a single pull request. You can orphan the Crossplane content and adopt Atlantis and get human inspection of your changes to your cluster if you require that from a compliance standpoint. So just a really well thought out ecosystem, very frictionless to do in our user interface. And it's this experience that we wanted to first trial our commercialization efforts on. So this is where we've started. We've been in beta with this feature set for over a year. It works very well. We feel like we've filed off just about all of the rough edges. And now we're starting to get into deeper analytics and surfacing information that we know is valuable to you. We're going to be expanding our services page so that it's not just a whole bunch of links to get you into your apps, but has a whole bunch of really relevant metadata. And we have big plans that go beyond that as well that we think is going to be very valuable to you as a platform engineer. So stay tuned to our story there. But that's most of what we did with Kubefirst Pro. We rebranded our management user interface Kubefirst Pro instead of just that application that's part of your management cluster that's also called Kubefirst. It has a name now. It's Kubefirst Pro. We're trying to make it clear to everybody that there is a commercial element to Kubefirst Pro. We've made Kubefirst Pro completely optional, so you can reject the installation of it in your management cluster if you choose to. Although with the free tier that we have, I don't know why you wouldn't take the free tier and check it out at least. So that's basically all I wanted to show about Kubefirst Pro. I think I would show you how the credit card swiper works, but I don't want everybody on the internet to see my credit card numbers.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Awesome. So that answered a question that I've seen people like some people with which I understand were worried like what's going to happen with Kubefirst. I'm like, no, we stay true to the open source platform. We just let's be honest. At some point, we need to make money too.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but I think we're doing it the right way. So
yeah, and I think that's all I had to show in terms of demos. Am I forgetting anything, Fred? I think we covered the Konstruct company rebrand. We have a new blog. It's at blog.construct.io. We have a new site at construct.io at the Apex. We have just to sort of, it's boring to show on screen, but just to fully communicate the changes that we made. Our charts are now in a new location. We were at charts.kubefirst.com. which dates way back. Now we are at charts.construct.io. So please update your local registries to our charts repository. We changed our GitHub org. We changed our the cloud that we're running production in. We changed. I think that's most of the changes that weren't on screen. And obviously all of our socials have changed as well. So we have new Twitters, we have new LinkedIn. I'm sure, Fred, you could speak to all of the social adjustments better than I can at this point.
Yeah, no. So it's pretty simple. We rebranded the LinkedIn page. We rebranded the Slack community, and for the Slack community, that is the extent of what we've done. So at some point, if we start to have like a lot more questions or things around Colony, we may have like separate channels. But right now, for the Helping Hands channels, it's good for any product. On Twitter, we did not rebrand it. We still have the Kubefirst account, but we have now 2 new Twitter accounts because I love managing those, I guess.
Yeah.
So we now have the Konstruct at the company level. We also, as I said, we still have the Kubefirst Twitter account, and we have Fly with Colony. Because Colony was not available as an handle, as a username. So Fly with Colony for the Colony product. If I want to be totally honest, right now until probably Monday, I was reusing Colony, Konstruct, Kubefirst to retrieve everything about everything on all accounts, because Kubefirst is the brand that we built for a while. This is the account where we have all our people. But starting Monday, they're going to have like really different focused, meaning that like Kubefirst is going to be about Kubefirst, Colony is going to be about Colony, and Construct is going to be a little bit of both and things at the company level. So feel free, if you want to get news about everything we do, feel free to also follow, if you already follow Kubefirst. If you don't, actually do it, but like if you already follow Kubefirst account on Twitter, also follow the Construct one, and follow Fly with Colony, and you're gonna have all the information you need to learn more about where we're going, what we do, and what's coming next. I can tell you with a bigger team now, things going to go faster. We're going to release more. We're going to have more news. We also hire a technical writer, which is going to help me and take over for me and the docs, but you will also write blog articles. So we're going to have more contents. And obviously, we're going to continue to do those live stream because we love doing those. We have a couple interesting guests that are already scheduled for the next live stream. And we're going to have more video contents on YouTube too. So with me being able to set aside a little bit the writing stuff, the written down stuff, I'm going to be able to concentrate a little more on video content. So more cool things are going to happen. John, this is a good time to be at Construct. I was going to say Kubefirst. I still need a little bit of time to adjust to the new company name.
But die hard.
Exactly. That's a good time to be at Construct. So many amazing things happening right now, and I hope you feel the sentiment, you share the sentiment with us, seeing how Kubefirst grown. If you've been with us for a while, seeing where we're going to be, a sustainable company. We need to make money at some point. I was saying, and the fact that like we're branching and like going in not different directions, the same direction, but like with new product, I think is just a testament of what we're doing, where we're going, and the fact that, let's be honest, we're here to stay. You're not going to get rid of us.
Yeah. Thank goodness too. And yeah, I mean, for those in our community that been following our story for so many years, I know you've watched firsthand the passion that we poured into the product, the support that we try to give the community, and you've probably seen even how short staffed we felt at times, and to not be in that spot anymore. I hope the whole community can just kind of look at us and our new posture and understand that we are here. We did it. We have the ownership that believes in us. We have the runway to get the job done. We have the engineers with the passion to knock out our aspirations, and we're feeling 1,000%. And I won't often use this live stream to ask for money or anything like that, but we are introducing our commercial product. And if you find that there's an opportunity at your company to try out Kubefirst Pro, to try out Colony. You know that we'll work as hard for you as we have for our open source community for the last 5.5 years. And we would really just appreciate your business, and we will not let you down. So wanted to say that for sure. And we are looking for our first Colony companies that want a change to their, maybe you're using VMware, maybe you're using, some bare metal provisioning software that just isn't cutting the mustard for you, and you're looking for something newer, more modern, more cloud native. We got your back. We see it too. And we're looking for those companies to partner up with. So reach out and let's find a way to work together.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that we were finally able to announce everything that we're working on and do that live stream, because the last, like you probably seen if you've been with us for a while, for the last 3-4 months, we went a little bit quiet, and there's nothing worse for a developer advocate than not being able to talk about stuff. As excited as I get, and especially me with my big mouth, I was like, I want to talk about those things, and John was like, wait, just a little bit, wait, like we're reaching the line, Fred, like, can you be patient? And I'm like, no, I want to talk about those things, and now I can. So just amazing to being able to finally do that. But as you've seen, we're not going on there. We were actually going in the other direction. We were just going higher and higher. We're just keeping it secret, but now it's out in the open, and we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, feeling good.
So on that note, John, do you know why did the functions stop calling each other?
Why the functions stop calling each other? They didn't leave a callback address.
No, I think I made that kind of joke, the exact joke a couple of weeks ago. But that's the same question, different answers. But yours is good. This time, why did the functions stop calling each other? It's because they had a lot of arguments.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Yeah, function couples, not always easy.
No.
Relationship,
It's a hard world in there.
Terrible developer dad jokes. I wish everyone a happy beginning or end of the days or evening, afternoon, morning, whatever you are
Wherever
in the world. Just thanks for joining us live. Thanks for people watching the recording too. If you have any questions about Kubefirst Pro, if you have any question about Colony, if you have any question about Konstruct, the rebranding, please let us know on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Join our Slack community. We're going to be more than happy to help you if you're an actual Kubefirst user and you still have questions that we're not clarifying that live stream, or have some worries about like, hey, can I still use the product? Like, no matter what you have, any questions, please let us know. And if you have any comments, as always, we're always looking forward to your feedback, because I think this is the only way we can improve ourselves and build the product that makes sense for you. So on that note, folks, have a good rest of the day, and see you in 2 weeks for the next live stream.
See everybody.